Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is a MP3 player presented by Group Nurul from CSC435 to A4 CSC435 project. Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nadzifah Binti Zamzuri.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nurul Aina Firzanah Binti Rosnan.
Hi, my name is Nurin Mardiana Humaira Binti Ruslan. So first, the introduction. Actually, this application is designed to manage and control the audio playback using the graphical user interface, or also known as GUI. So what is actually GUI? GUI is a digital interface in which a user can interact using the graphical components such as buttons, icons and menus. The development of this application allows the user to easily select an audio file and use the buttons to simply control to play, loop, pause or resume the audio. Next, we have the list of features that is available in this application. First, we have the audio file selection, which allows the user to select an audio using the file dialog box. Next, we have the buttons that are being used to control the audio. First, we have the play button, and then we have the loop, the stop, the pause and the resume button, and also the back button.
Here's the list of our GUI component that has been implemented into our MP3 player: JPanel, JLabel, JTextField, JFileChooser, and JButton.
Next, I will show you the main output for this application. As we can see here, this is the homepage or the first interface that the user will see when they open the application. This is the main page in which the user will use the buttons to control the audio playback. Next, we have the audio file selection, which the user use the file dialog box to choose their preferred audio playback. And these are the tasks that has been assigned to each of the members in the group.
Now let's proceed run the program, but before that I would like to show you the coding first. This is the GUI music player coding, and this is the player track coding specifically created for managing our audio playback. Now let's try to run the program, but first you need to click this GUI music player class and right click and choose void main strings and click OK button. As you can see on the screen, the panel is shown up, and this shows that our program is run successfully. For your information, our user interface have two panels. For the first panel that you can see on the screen, it is the first panel known as welcoming panel. There is a greeting message and a click button here. When we click this button, it will bring us to the second panel. This second panel is known as main panel, where we will try to play the music, pause the music, stop the music, and try to put the music in the looping stage. And in this second panel, we have image, return back button, and choose file button. So we just need to click choose file button first. The folder for your laptop will be pop up, and you just need to find where the music, and you just need to choose any music that you want to play. The music that you choose will show up here. So now let's try to play the button, whether our play button is functioning or not. This shows that our play button is functioning. And how about the pause button? Now, the music is paused, so this means that our pause button is functioning. But how about resume button? When we click the resume button, the resume label change to the pause label, and the music also play again. And how about the stop button? When we click the stop button, our music will stop. So now let's try to put our music in a looping stage. But first, we need to play the music first. When we click this loop button, there is a message that will be pop up that say looping is now enabled. Now let's click OK button. The loop label now changed to the looping label. So this means that our music is currently in a looping stage. And to disable the looping button, we just need to click the looping button, and the message will be pop up here. And just click the OK button. So this shows that our loop button is functioning. If we click this loop button and try to stop or pause the button, the music cannot pause because the music already in a looping button. So if we want to stop or pause, we need to disable first the loop button. Click this return back button, it will bring us to the first panel. Even though we play the music and we click the return back button, it will bring us to the first panel. And the first panel, the music is still playing because click the play button. That's how our user interface is functioning. Now let's proceed with the GUI element in our music player MP3. For your information, our project is structured with main class, the GUI music player that extends JFrame and implement action listener. The key important components here is JPanel, which are panel 1 and panel 2 for different view, JLabel for label 1 and image label, JTextField for file field, and we also have JButton for click me button, return back button, playback button, pause button, stop button, choose button, and loop button. We also have JFileChooser for selecting MP3 file and player track for managing our audio playback. This is the main method to start the music player application. In the main method, we initialize the GUI using init method. In this init method, we set up the user interface including label, button, panel, and file chooser. All of this, we assign a value to them, and in panel 1, the label 1, which is welcome to the music player MP3, we set the color to white with font Arial and bold at the size of 45. We also have a click make button here in panel 1. In the panel 1, we use a grid bed layout. Reason is because the grid bed layout actually allow precise position and resizing of component. And we also use grid bed constraints that used to control the placement and behavior of each component. And this grid X actually refer to the row position of the component, and grid Y actually refer to the column position of the component. The encode here actually is used to center the component within this grid cell. Initially, the background color for the panel 1 we set as the black color, but we also want to apply the background color transition. This is the coding for the background color transition. The reason we use this, actually we want to add a visual enhancement to the welcome screen with a smooth background color transition, and we use timer here to critically update the background color based on the hue value. Therefore, it will create a continuous color changing effect that cycle through the color spectrum. Now, let's go to the second panel. In the second panel, we set the panel with the grid bed layout, and we set the background color as a pink color. This insert actually add 10 pixels of padding around the component on all sides, and we also set the file path fill at 13. In the second panel, we have image that display the image from the URL. And then we also have the playback button, which are play button, pause button, stop button, loop button, and return back button. The choose file here actually to open the chooses file dialog. Next, we go to the JFrame. In the JFrame, actually, at first we add the panel 1. So, in order for us to go from the panel 1 to the panel 2, we just need to click this button. And the JFrame setup, we set the title as a music player MP3, and we set the size as 900 and 700, and we also set the location as 300 and 100. And obviously, we also set the visible as true, so that after we click this, it will immediately show up as what we set up. So this is the example here. That's all for the layout of our music player MP3.
Okay, next I will show you this part of the coding in this application. This part is about the action listener, which is it is being implemented in this application for handling button clicks. So here it is the action we will perform in this application for all of the buttons that is available in this application. So first here we can see this is a click me button and the return back button in this homepage. When the user click on the click me button, it will remove the panel 1, which is this homepage is the panel 1, and it will add the panel 2. For example, I'll click this click me button, this is the panel 2. And the return back button will be performing the same action but in a reverse way, which is this here is the panel 2. The return back button will remove the panel 2 and it will add the panel 1. Down here, we have this line here. It's necessary to take the event source, which is whatever the user click the button, it will take the event source to a J button and store it in the button click here. The button click here, we can see that it is set to the background color magenta when the user click on the button. The choose file button, it will call the choose file method. This is the choose file method for the user to choose their audio file in the file. When the user click on the choose file button, so it will set the current directory of file chooser to a current working directory. And when the user click here, it will open the file chooser dialog and store the result here. This line here, it will check the user whether the user approve of the selection or not. If the user approve the selection, it will get the selection and store the result. So here we can see that this is the selected audio file. Next is the play button. When the user click on the play button, it will call the play music method. So first it will check if the player thread is not now, which is mean that it checks whether there is existing player thread. For example, if there is a player thread running, this line here, it will stop the currently playing music before starting the new play. This is actually necessary because to avoid multiple track playing in this application. This line here, it will create a new player thread contain the path to the selected music file. It is to instantiate new player thread to set up a new thread to play the specified music file. Next is the pause music method, which is when the user click on this pause button, it will call the pause music method. First, it will check if there is a music playing. So if the music is not paused, it will pause the audio. This line here is set is paused to true to indicate that the music is now paused, and it will update the text from the pause to resume. And else, if the music already paused, when the user click on this resume button, it will set the is paused to as fails. That indicates that the music is playing. The next is the stop button. So when the user click on the stop button, it will call the stop music, which when the song is playing. So when the user click on the stop button, it will stop the music, which it change this to the false. Lastly is the loop button. When the user click on the loop button, it will call the toggle loop method, which it call the set looping method on player track to set the looping option here. So when the user click on the loop button, it will display a message to indicate the new looping state. So for example, looping is not enabled. So here it means that the music will be looping, and click again and it disable. So it means that the music will not be looping. And that is all from me for this section.
Good day everyone, I will be explaining on the audio playback functionality that have been integrated into our GUI-based MP3 music player application, and I will be walking through the methods and classes that has enabled for playing, pause, resuming, stopping, choose file, and also toggling on the looping of the MP3 file. Let's start with the player thread classes. This class is responsible for handling the MP3 playback in a separate thread, which allows for our GUI to remain responsive while the music is playing. Here we initialize the player thread with the path of MP3 file to be played, and the is looping flag here helps us to control the looping state, and the run method overriding the handle handles the actual playback. This method starts the playback by calling the play method and handles any exception that may occur. So as I have said before, the play method is responsible for starting the audio playback. So this method resets the player and starts playback. If looping is enabled, it will recursively call itself for continuous playback. So the reset player is to start the play of the song from the beginning of the song, and the play is obviously for playing the audio file, and for when there is looping, so it will continuously call itself to play back the song again and again. And here for reset player, this method ensures that the player is correctly initialized, and this method closes any previous input stream and creates a new one, and also initialize the new advanced play instance. So for example, we pause the song at 20 seconds, so when we reset the player, it does not matter where we stop. They will just continue play the audio back from the start, so they will just remove any input stream that they have collected. For the pause playing method, which allows for the audio to be paused, so this method saves the current playback position and closes the player to pause the playback. So for example, the song is 1 minute and 20 seconds, so it is 80 seconds, and we pause it at the 20th second, so they will save the current playback position, so they will save that the song position is at the 20 second, and when you resume the play, it will continue to play from the 20 second until the end of the song. As I have said before on the pause playing method, the pause playing will save the play position. So for example, if you stop at the 20 second, then they will keep the position. And for resume playing method, which literally means resume playback from where it was paused, so this method creates an input stream that skips the pause position and starts playback in a new thread to keep the GUI responsive. So what does it mean is that when we stop at the 20 second, the resume playback will start from the 21 second until the end of the song. And the stop method literally means stops the audio playback, so this method simply just close the player and stop the playback, so it will close the song. For set looping method, enable or disable looping playback, so this method is just set the looping for user to choose whether they want to enable or disable the looping function. So that is all from me. So in conclusion, the audio playback functionality with the help of player thread classes and the various control method that ensures that our music player application can effectively play, pause, resume, while choose file, and also looping the file MP3 file seamlessly. So with this integration provide a smoother user experience.